Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the earliest vlog ever. Please excuse the bags under my eyes. We're up very early for Anne's orientation to grad school, which starts next week. And it's really early. I wanted to get this knocked out, though, with a couple things. First thing we're going to talk about is the new Percy Jackson movie, which is out. Percy Jackson, kind of like the iconic movie of Scion, right? They're theoretically doing everything that Scion is supposed to be doing. Our good friends Tom and Jenny love the books, so we're always very careful not to be insulting when the movies come out. But the first movie was bad. Second movie we had a lot of hope for. After the first movie we said we would not see them again, but then second movie came out and the trailer looked really good and a lot of really cool stuff going on. Gonna hit the highlights first. Really cool stuff. There's a great fight with a mechanical bull. They don't really explain how the mechanical bull got there or where it came from. But really cool, awesome Scion-style fight. The bull's having different stuff happen. It's got a flamethrower. It's all like mechanical, but like sort of like a future technology sort of mechanical, but still has a really like solid mythological massive bull feel. And that was really cool. Hermes is awesome. Perfectly done. Everything I would imagine were I playing Hermes. Or when I try to play Hermes, is a little bigger than I imagine Hermes, but he's getting older and that just happens. But he kind of like nails the character. Nails the speed, nails the wit. It's stupid how short he is in the film. I don't want to spoil anything, but basically he shows up and then never comes back. And I guess that does spoil a lot of stuff. I'm sorry. But it's really frustrating because he's so good. There is a water scene with them riding a hippocampus, which is just nailed. The CGI department nailed that. It's really, really good. Really gets that feel of like riding a mythical beast, and the beast looks great and really spot on. Scion Camp was cool. Scion Camp as an idea is a real cop-out. Like, if you can start in Scion Camp, like, that just makes your job as a storyteller a lot easier. And I understand why Riordan does that, because it does make it just significantly easier to just start everybody out. And there's a lot of cool scenes you can do. Like, they do a cool American Gladiators type event, which I think would be really cool to do in Scion. Like, you could set up a games kind of like that, and everything is really good. Giles from Buffy is the new Chiron. I don't know if they couldn't get James Bond again, but I mean, Giles is way better. Fucking nails it. Guy playing Dionysus is okay. He really dumbs down Dionysus, and I know it's probably the writing and not him. But his Dionysus is really weird. And that's one of the frustrating parts. We don't see many of the gods. We meet Hermes, we meet Dionysus again, and then that's about it. I guess if I want to transition into the problems with the movie. One of the first things that's kind of cool is the Cyclops shows up, and they're like, "Oh my God, a kid of Poseidon! How is this kid of Poseidon a Cyclops?" There's no kids of Poseidon or any of the gods. The three big gods. The three kings. None of them have kids around right now, except Poseidon, who's got this one kid. And now they find out, oh, there's another kid. But then they go search for Polyphemus, who is a Cyclops, one of Poseidon's other kids. And so I like they put the Cyclops in there as, hey, Poseidon has Cyclops kids. But then the entire movie is like shitting on Cyclopses. And it tries to do like a modern racism analog. It doesn't pull it off well, and it never reiterates that all or probably most of these Cyclopses are also Poseidon's kids. Because unless you're one of the originally created Cyclopses, you're one of Poseidon's kids. I don't think I'm missing any. Mythologically speaking. So it was just so dissonant that they hit the Poseidon can have Cyclops kids. and then made Cyclopses the bad guys for most of the movie, and never mentioned that those Cyclopses were probably also Poseidon's kids. Quick thing, Grover plays the satyr. He does his thing with Polyphemus at the end is really good. It hit the Grover's actor is actually just very, very good at a lot of his stuff. I don't think he's got the best lines, and he's not really a child actor, but he's in with all the other child actors, so he kind of shines. I hate child actors, and they're like 23 now. They shouldn't be child actors anymore, but that's my actor thing. Other problems with the movie: the Athena chick is just stupid. It's really sad how stupid she is. She's supposed to be the smart one, like she's there as the Hermione. She's fucking a Hermione clone, but they don't give her... First of all, they make her super racist off the top, and they explain it clumsily. But then she's not putting any clues together. She's not being smart. The smart thing she does is she Googles something on her Relic iPad and figures out that they need to go find the fleece. But it seems like if this stuff is known about the fleece, in the movie, the fleece can bring anyone back from the dead. If that's known, then she should know that, or everybody should know it. It's very weird that she has to... The golden fleece brings people back to life, and everyone knows this, but she has to Google it. And the Googling is just really clumsy. Other than that, there was a lot of really hopeful things that ended up not being great. They go to Cersei's Island. It's a theme park. That's weird, and then we never see Cersei either. It seems like a really exciting thing. We could have Cersei come in, and that'd be cool. But she never shows up at all. Polyphemus is on the island, but it's just like a ghost town. Hermes doesn't come back. The story just doesn't really meld. They just throw things at a wall and it doesn't work. I know they changed a lot in the first book. I don't know if they changed a lot from the second book. I should probably go read all the books. But the story doesn't really flow. It's just very, very odd. And then it's hitting the Scion themes hard of being upset with your parents and absentee parents and the godparents not being around but having to be around. But then it really doesn't fulfill, I guess. And then a bunch of shit is not explained. Hermes is running this gigantic super UPS system to the gods, where all this mail is going everywhere. You go in, you've probably seen it in the previews. He goes into a giant UPS packing facility, and it's sending hundreds of thousands of packages everywhere. But they never really explain anything about the other world. Why would this need to happen? And this old lady's oh, I want to send this shield to Hades, and it'll gonna be 150 drachma. But then, who are they sending things to, and why is... if we never see anyone else really, I don't understand why there's this giant shipping thing happening and why it's necessary. It's messy. So I would say, if you got 20 extra bucks for two people, you don't live in Manhattan where it's probably 40, it's worth your time. If nothing, just to be angry at the angry things and be really happy with the cool stuff. Like I said, they do some stuff really well. Some relics are really cool. It's hard not to just straight up rip for game some of the things, because some of the things were so good that you want to rip it for game. The fights were good. Some of the relics were good. Some of the Scion-y modern ways to do mythical things were cool. And then the story itself just kind of got dropped on the floor, which was very, very sad. And the characters just aren't great. Poseidon kid is just whiny. Athena girl is stupid. Ares chick is a little too much, but probably the best of those characters. And then Grover's okay, but gets kidnapped really early. And the Hermes stuff, Hermes' kid doesn't really make sense, and nothing is really explained about how he just appears again. But at least there's no Hades being the devil, so that's good. Also, every time they talk about the gods, and all the stuff the gods did versus Kronos in the first time, they never mentioned the ladies. Like, they always talk about how the original gods fought Kronos and aren't allowed to have kids anymore, but they never talk about Hera, Demeter, Hestia. Like, it is not brought up at all. It's the three dudes, and that's it. And that's weird. Yeah, so that's going to be the end of the review. Let's say 10 minutes. That's not too bad. So that's my review on the movie. You should probably go see it, but you're going to be angry a bit. But I think you'll get some stuff out of it. I don't want to give that guy more money, really, but it's okay. Cut. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, and my players, if you left during the last part, you probably want to come back now. A lot of people have been talking about Nax recently, specifically multitasking and how overpowered it is, and I just wanted to go over, I've been thinking a lot about Nax also. We're working on a lot of things, right, at the moment. And one of the things I'm working on is trying to fix a lot of Nax, looking at like sections of Nax and kind of realizing what's working, what's not working. So I just wanted to go over a couple ideas, a couple of things I'm aiming for with Nax changes. Next time I may do boons, go through and do boons changes. I know we're working on a lot of stuff right now though. So for the Nax changes, just a quick list of ones I went through. I'm sure there's many more. We're going to add some. There's probably some that you guys have comments about. Feel free to comment about them. First, obviously, strength. Strength needs to probably get a little, and I don't know how to do it without making it really overpowered, but strength needs to get a little more flashy. A lot of the other purviews have really flashy Nax, and strength has, up until now, been able to kind of exist on... it's the one I do damage with, so that's the flashy part. Like, the fact that I can, once I have strength, I can, like, bash through people is the cool, flashy part. And that's often what I've said when people are like, players come to me and they're like, oh, well, I got all these other cool Nax, and then I got the strength, and I don't know what to get, all the Nax suck, I'll just pick whatever. And I don't think that can change a whole lot, because it's a difficult balancing act, because strength is so powerful on its own. But I do think strength needs to be flashed up a bit. It kind of needs better things to kind of show what you're doing. I think a lot of the base stuff is good, and I think, but I think it can be fleshed out a little more with more things that are really fun and mythic. Basically, players I've had before, if they're not a brawler and they're not going for parry, they feel that the Nax are very lackluster in strength. Dexterity I didn't have anything specific with. I'm sure we'll look at some things in it though. Stamina needs a lot of work. I've kind of been playing with stamina, and we made the recent change to it so that heroes can get extra health levels, which has been very, very useful for everybody in game. One of the stumbling blocks I'm coming up to in stamina is often there's very epic battles, and people take tons of damage, and it ends up becoming aggravated damage. And then that's just kind of something they live with until they just buy regeneration. And it's become a thing at the table where everybody kind of cajoles the other player who has ag into getting regeneration until he finally gets it. And I think it's important that the heroes have a great deal of stamina, because they're in dangerous situations and they will die without stamina. So I think you will die without some stamina still needs to be there. But I don't think every character should feel like they need to max stamina in order to be a helpful supporting person. And so I'm kind of trying to figure out a way to balance that. I think if we do something like make it more like strength with some flashy Nax, but very good usefulness on its own. I mean, stamina's already really, really good. So I don't want to make it better, but I don't want to make it as mandatory as I feel like it has become, specifically the Nax. Specifically your damage conversion, your self-healing, your regeneration. And that's mostly from a player's being upset when other players don't have the necks they need to survive, and then they have to like risk their lives and blow legendary deeds to save them. Not that I don't think all of that can be really good and makes good stories. I just know I don't like other players being pressured into getting things like regeneration. Holy Fortitude, I'm going to streamline. I don't like all of that. I don't really think it's interesting. So one of the things I'll probably work on is how long you can normally go without food and sleep and stuff, and then change that whole tree around, fixing it. Raise Your Glass is probably gone. Solipsistic Well-Being is probably moving or gone. And I want more variation. Like right now, Stamina so much deals with taking damage and different things you can do to spend to take less damage. Which I think in general we should be trying to move away from, but there's a happy medium. It has definitely become in most games, anyone who takes damage goes, okay, take damage. Convert, defensive do-over, other stamina knacks that stop damage, and then self-heal the next turn. It's like boom, 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 boom. And that just doesn't feel as exciting. It doesn't feel as like a good way to spend legend. I think more variation in the knacks, less. I don't have any right now. I think Ant's got some on the back burner, but different stuff that is happening with those knacks would be good. I don't know if we'll get there, but that'll be my attempt. Charisma, we've talked about this before. The massive dice adders are on the way out. So your animal aspect, your theme music, importantly for Charisma. They will be replaced with something. I have some really good ideas for theme music. I also think theme music is more of a something every character should have. All the characters in my games now start with like a mandatory song that goes with their character. It may or may not become their theme music, but it gives me an idea about what their theme music should be, or about their character in the music. And I feel like theme music should go along with that. And I'm trying to find a good way to integrate that without making it the thing like Charisma characters have, because it's, I think, less fun for everybody else. So that's what I'm working on for Charisma. Nothing for manipulation or appearance, although they always need better stuff. And they always need work. Perception, I want to work on hear prayers. I realize that the actual like straight up hearing direct prayer of just people saying, "Hey Poseidon, what's up? How's it going?" is both not fun in game, confusing in game. Both. I'm going to name 3 things, and not actually mythical. And I'm probably going to change it more into something that just God isn't a knack. Gods just get it, and then it doesn't have to be linked to perception. And because I gave it to all my God characters anyway. And then it's not just a normal prayer, but instead is a complicated ritual in order to pray to that God. I think actually talking to the God should be much more involved. Just like sitting down and being like, "Hey, what's up?" just shouldn't work. So that's where I'm moving towards in that. That'll be a big change, I think. Then int knacks, a lot that either need work, need fixing, need a little boost. Just kind of going through so many games, seeing who takes what and which knacks are used more and used less and stuff. Cypher and Axiom, I think Cypher can use a little bit of a like helping hand to be done a little better, maybe do more stuff with codes and stuff. Because what I don't like about Cypher, and it's kind of what I don't like about Math Genius too, is that they're kind of just I win buttons for puzzles, and the whole reason the end character is there is to solve puzzles, but that should be a fun and complicated experience. So solving a puzzle for an intelligence character should be like fighting a great battle for a physical character. And so taking that all away by saying this knack just lets you do it is bad. It'd be like a strength knack that said you win the fight. You have more epic strength than the other guy, then you just win. And that's kind of where those knacks are right now, the intelligence knacks, and I want to move away from that. Math Genius, whenever there's a math puzzle, I give them a bonus to the math puzzle for having Math Genius. I don't let them just win the puzzle. And Cypher is kind of the same way. Like, I don't want it to just win all language type decoding puzzles. I would rather it be something that happens, something good and fun, and not something that's just like, boom, I have the knack, so I just win. Axiom, I don't think it works. No one has ever used it in hundreds and hundreds of games that we've played. So I don't think it's good. I think it's useless. It's a holdover from the books, and like Anne has a soft spot for it in her heart, and she's gonna hate me for blaming that on her. And we wanted to kind of keep as much from the original as possible. If we could fix it, that'd be good. But I don't know. I don't know of any way to fix it, and I think it's a kind of a weird thing. I do think it's something intelligent people should be able to do, because what it is it's like knowing all the facts and then knowing how things will keep happening in the future. But the implementation is so fuzzy and corrupted, kind of. I don't think it's good. I think we can find something that kind of fits that niche without it being Axiom now, because Axiom is just muddied. And then multitasking. Well, we were already talking about on the blog, lots of things we could do with it. It's just way too powerful right now. And a lot of people made some suggestions. We'll definitely look through all those when we go to work on it. And we'll figure out what we're going to do with it. I think it'll probably just get scaled down in powerfulness, but it'll still be good. Other option is you could have... it's actually a good one. If it had increased... It stayed the same, but each additional action you took past the first had like a curve, sort of like Epics, a curve of cost added to it. I think that would be good. Like, you can do a bunch of actions, but the first one is 2 extra legend, the second one is 4 extra legend, and the third one is 8 extra legend, 7 extra legend, whatever it is. I think that could be cool. But yeah, so that's all I have for the knacks. I'm sure there's tons more that need work, and I know Anne's got a list around somewhere of all the ones we've kind of thought of but haven't been able to kind of implement yet or balance. If you guys have some ideas for cool knacks or things you think an attribute should be able to do that it can't yet, go ahead and leave us a comment. I'm sure I will argue with you and tell you you are wrong, but there's a good chance I won't, and I'm sorry. I just can't help it. But that's it. I'm going to head out to this orientation thing and have a good time. Everybody have a good week, and see you next time.